Hello everybody, this is Saberwolf, another Guild Wars 2 update. It's April 30th, 2010, and we have a lot of information, so let's get to it. First off, weapons. ANET released all the weapons that will be in Guild Wars 2. First off, one-handed weapons will be the axe, sword, dagger, mace, pistol, and scepter. Scepter is actually just like a wand from Guild Wars 1. So the new ones are mace and pistol. For two-handed weapons, we have hammer, longbow, short bow, staff, rifle, and great sword. Great sword will be the new, and rifle will be the other new big ones for Guild Wars 2. So it should be interesting what skills, those 5 skills, will be attached to them. And last but not least, offhand only will be a focus, shield, a torch, and a war horn. We don't know what a torch and a war horn actually does yet, so this should be interesting. Also note that there are some professions in this game that will be able to weld a one-handed weapon in the offhand as well. So you will be able to weld 2 swords or 2 daggers or maybe even 2 maces. So it should be interesting on what the extra skill combinations. If you remember from the last video that those extra 2 slots of the offhand could turn into extra sword or mace attacks for your character to use. Now, staying in the weapons theme, we're actually going to go over the environmental weapons. This is big from the Havoc engine that Guild Wars 2 is actually going to be running on. Some of the things that players can do is that they can grab branches, rocks, and boulders and actually use them as weapons. Now, if we go back over to the skill layout of the 10 skills on the bar, you don't remember that the first 5 skills in your bar is going to be related to the weapon. Well, if you pick up a branch or a rock or a boulder, that's going to be in your weapon. That's where the new kicker comes in. The player can pick up these items and they'll actually get new skills when they use it. For instance, if a player picks up a mug of beer, their skill bar changes into a new set of skills. Some of the options of this could be to drink the beer, to throw it at somebody, to attack somebody over the head with it, or drop, which would be simply just to put it back onto the counter which the player got it from. So not only do the weapon skills are used for attacking like that, but they are actually turned into interactive skills that you do use to interact with the environment that's around you, with any items that you come across with. So that's going to be really, really cool in Guild Wars 2 to interact with your environment even further. Now, the third section of updates I want to go over is going to be the cross-profession combos. Again, I want to remind everybody that there will be no secondary professions in Guild Wars 2. This was due to over complexity of the game for having too many secondary profession skills, with racial skills like that. But the racial skills will provide the secondary skills to make the build slightly different from other builds out there. So there are going to be 5 different variations of each profession due to the races. So make sure you keep that in mind. What cross-profession combos, what they were talking about is that players can combo their skills with others to create a bigger effect. For example, an Ellie can use a wall of fire around near some foes, and when a warrior uses Cyclone Axe, this will fan the flames outwardly and hitting the foes and increasing his attacking range. So players can team up with different professions, one on each, to create a very cool combo. And they also ANET wanted to note that there are hundreds of combos out there for players to find because of all the races and all the professions that are out there. I'm going to note that with the 5 professions and the 8 professions and the 5 known races that are out there, there's already going to be 40 different combinations for each player to try out, and then it's going to be combining with other players with other professions and races. So the numbers are astronomical on a number of the combos that you could come up with in this game. Now, the last area I wanted to go over was some of the known skills that ANET's been talking about in some of these interviews and such. One of the first ones I want to go over is an Elemental's elite skill called Tornado. It's an air skill, and what this does is that it will turn the Elemental supposedly into a tornado and just collide their enemies with a lot of wind damage like that. The other skill, elite skill they were talking about profession-wise, was a warrior elite skill called Devastation. Now, this was an AoE damage skill that every time the warrior attacked, it did AoE damage around them, kind of like, I guess, 100 Blades would do. Some racial profession combos they were talking about was a Chivalry Warrior using grasping roots to snare their target to lock them down in place so when they run up they can hack them up to pieces. Versus an Ashoran Warrior could have Arcane Blast, which is like a long range attack skill, so if the person was cutting away from them they can use an Arcane Blast attack to actually hit their foe from long range. Some racial elite skills they went over is Wolf Form, which is, yeah, for me, being Saberwolf, you know that. So it was really cool to hear that there is a Wolf Form coming up. Yay! And last but not least, and certainly not the least, was a human elite skill they described, which was Hounds of Balthazar. This skill supposedly you can summon two like fiery hounds, like I guess like hellhounds, and they'll actually summon them into the game, and you can actually use them, and they'll actually fight for you, almost like pets. So that was a really cool skill, and looks like the humans will be using god-related skills as far as their elite skills, depending on which one, I guess, deity that they attune themselves to. So that wraps up this Guild Wars 2 update. A couple things I want to go back and go over again is that there will be 8 professions, 5 races, so that's going to be 40 different combinations for players to choose from. Depending on what race and profession combination you're going to get a different combination of skills, and you can use those skills from each players to even have more different combinations of skills and abilities to do, so that's going to be really, really cool and dynamic. And coming soon, ANET said that they will be going over the dynamic event system. I assume this is like the centaurs attacking a base and you have to defend it, or you have to defend a bunch of bandits going to a water treatment plant that serves a divinity reach. Once again, this is Saberwolf. I will be trying to do these updates as much as possible, and I hope you enjoy them. And I will talk to you later. Thank you very much, and have a good day.